Well, sweet. Nothing like a walk in the forest. Hey boys. Hey, this is my friend Anthony, and this is my friend Logan. Man, I really love the forest after a good snowfall, eh? Oh, there's a nice red pine. Okay, so one of the rules of our walk is you gotta hug the tree. So, here we go. Do a dually. Can you reach all the way around? No, well, you need Logan's help. That's a dually. Yeah, that's a nice red pine, eh? Yeah, wow. Isn't that great? Oh, I didn't see that one. Three of them, eh? Well, there's three sisters. Oh, you know what? That's a white. That's a white pine right there. There are many ways to identify them. You know, identifying by your bark can fool you. But this is pretty crystal clear.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They're both about the same size.
My guess it would have been around the same time because there are particular conditions required for them to be able to propagate. They're a very difficult starter. Well, even though we're out in the middle of nowhere, you can still hear the jets.
That's true.
Gertie, don't be a pest. Come on now, sweetie. Stop it. Stop it.
Hey.
Why don't you blaze the trail for us, girl? You go ahead. Every one of them has character, eh? Well, these are whites. That's a white pine, and this is a white pine.
They look really different from the other trees.
Yeah. And when they get real old, they take on a new character. Because they get all gnarly and grow in different ways. Heavily influenced by, you know, the prevailing winds. Or even bad storms that break branches. Yeah, sweet. Things you find in the forest, eh?
Bottom.
Yeah. I wonder, eh? Well, it's probably drawn a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's neat how manufacturing's changed. You know, now the buckets are plastic. Wow, that's a really beautiful lake.
Richard.
Wow. So here, have a seat, brother. So you guys, you're on a magnificent journey, eh?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's incredible. Do you want to tell me or tell us about your journey?
Sure. Well, I guess, yeah, so Logan and I met in London about a year ago now, and we were both just finishing high school.
Yeah.
So I finished this year, Logan last year, and we thought this is probably a good idea to go and see the world, explore, meet amazing people, just get out of our comfort zone in general,
Yeah.
and just be exposed to something different for change. And it's probably the best time to do it as well.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cold out, isn't it?
Yeah. We had a good,
think so, yeah.
we had a good summer in BC. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty amazing though.
And you guys are camping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the coldest you've had so far?
Negative 20 plus
Yeah.
1?
Minus 20.
Negative 20 something?
Minus 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't camped since then.
No?
We stayed in Tim Hortons for the night, and then we've been with you since.
Yeah.
Thank you for
What's the worst place you slept in?
Oh,
So,
we
Bitter
haven't
Creek.
had that question yet. Everybody wants to know the best place,
Of
right?
course
Yeah.
they do.
that. I definitely say Bitter Creek on our failed glacier adventure.
Oh, yeah?
Everything, sleeping bag soaked, all
Oh.
clothes soaked. Thank God I didn't freeze that night because we would have woken up as ice lollies.
Oh no.
It was pretty uncomfortable.
I think that and like in the beginning, first week of the trip, we were hiking through Cypress Provincial Park north of Vancouver, and then what happened was because it wasn't raining, right?
Yeah.
And then so we hiked up this mountain and started going down. We could see the Highway 99 and the bay,
Yeah.
like to the ocean, and so we decided to pitch up on this cliff. Might as well have been a cliff.
Yeah.
Like straight down.
Yeah.
It was like 2,000 feet down.
Oh jeez.
And so we started setting up, and it started raining, like just sprinkling for the first time. And so we weren't really, I wasn't prepared for that, and I had my hammock,
Yeah.
and I decided, okay, I'm going to sleep in my hammock here for
Oh,
some reason on the
yeah.
cliff. And so I put over like my outer layer of my tent and everything to see if that would block the water, and it turned out I woke up like an hour later, soaked,
Yeah.
freezing,
Yeah.
and then I had to pop out my tent and put it on the cliff, and then I crawled into my tent. Oh, that was one of the worst
Oh,
nights.
brutal.
I woke up, it was all soaked, and I had dropped my sleeping bag
yeah.
off the cliff.
Oh no.
And I heard it too, went boom, 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 as it hit the levels of the cliff.
Oh jeez. So you had to go call and get
The
it.
next day,
The
yeah.
next day. Oh
Yeah.
man.
That was pretty horrendous, really.
Wow. Wow.
But it was a good view.
Oh yeah. Hey, well, anything for a good view, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And that they said that, I mean, you said it was Bitter Creek.
Yeah, in BC.
Yeah.
By Smithers. It was on the coast.
They name it Bitter Creek for a reason, I
I think
think.
so.
That maybe that should have been a warning.
Right. We only thought it'd be a couple of days, but we got stuck there for 7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were going to go out and hike the glacier then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just thought, because the glacier was up the creek,
Yeah.
and we thought, okay, we'll follow this trail up to the glacier, but the trail ended, so we tried to cross the river because it was just impassable on one side,
Yeah.
and so we ended up going through waist deep of this glacier water, which was,
Oh, that's cold, cold, cold.
oh yeah, and then the next day it started raining, and it rained for another 6 days straight while we were in there, and the river level rose, and it went from this bluish gray color to a murky brown color.
Yeah.
So it just looked like this horrible hell after a while.
The siltation and the sand from around.
Yeah.
Oh my
And we had to
goodness.
bushwhack all the way back to the highway through, and the bush in BC is not the same as here. It's all thorny and so dense because they get so much rain. There's
Yeah.
bushes everywhere. But we made it out.
Yeah,
Good
wow.
experience.
That's
Yeah.
wild. That's almost like a scene out of. Have you seen that movie Into the Wild?
Yes.
I started reading the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fellow who goes out to the
Yeah.
bus out
Right.
in
The
Alaska.
magic school bus or something.
Yeah,
that-
yeah. And he's unable to get back because of the rising waters, and
Oh.
he gets stuck out there.
Yeah, we thought it sounded like something Bear Grylls would do.
Well,
and
yeah.
we came back to the highway and came out of the bush like Bear Grylls would.
Oh man.
We're like, oh my God, there's a highway here.
Yeah.
And then there was the train as well. That we hopped on a train from where was it? Oh yeah, Banff to Fields, BC.
Yeah.
So up through the Rockies,
Yeah.
and it was a freight train.
Yeah.
So we waited for like 6 days to get the timing right,
Yeah.
and we got on it. It was at 7 a.m. The sun hadn't even come up yet, but
Yeah.
we had started riding this freight train on the back of this grainer car up into the mountains as the sun was rising.
Oh man.
And I remember looking to the side and seeing this lake, and it was reflecting the stars still, because there was
yeah.
like no light pollution up there. And so the sun's coming up, and you can see the silhouette of the mountains and everything.
Yeah.
And then once it's daytime, we ended up going through one of these tunnels up there, at 5,000 feet up or something. And the train came out of the tunnel and into this like amazing, unbelievable view that seemed like it was a different world. And had this whole valley, and then massive white-capped mountains
Yeah.
in the distance.
It's incredible how they cut holes through the mountains.
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing there was enough clearance for you.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
it probably felt like you had to duck.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite comfy actually. The whole thing was made of metal though, so it just sucked all the heat away from you. We got pretty cold. especially when it was snow outside early in the morning. So it was worth it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. So anyway, so I asked you what the worst place was. What was the best place? And you don't have to say my couch.
Okay, after that, then I think the Yukon was pretty amazing, where we were just planning to camp by this river, as we normally do, and these hillbillies, I guess, in their big pickup truck, they're out chicken hunting of all things, and they never see people there, so they just said we could hop in, and they showed us around, and we ended up going to this cabin, and they told us the people have abandoned it, it flooded out, it's kind of just a waste, and so they had a stove in, a wood stove, so we thought we'd make that place our home for a couple of nights, and yeah, we had a roof over our heads,
Nice.
we had a stove going, and next to the river in a forest, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. What would you think is the best place for the best views? The Chief, right?
The Chief?
Yeah, the Chief in Squamish, right north of Vancouver.
Oh, that's a rock face.
The mountain.
Yeah. It's just the second largest piece of granite in the world.
Really?
And you go up to the top of it after this hike, and everybody was looking at us like we were insane because we had our huge backpacks on, hiking up this 2,000-foot mountain, and they're all like wearing these type, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, what are you guys doing? But when we got up to the top, we were able to camp and I made some pasta, and it was overlooking the town at night.
Oh, neat.
That was an amazing place. So that was one of our best campsites for sure.
And then I managed to, just naturally I woke up before sunrise, so I got to look at the stars and then the sun rising at the same time. And it was warm enough that we didn't have to have any, basically no clothes or our tents.
Oh, that's nice.
Really.
Yeah, when we've been waking up in the cold every day, you think your house is bad in the morning time, but when you're out camping in a tent and then you've slept through the cold and then you wake up and the fire's out, you don't want to move out of your sleeping bag. And then when you do it, you go so slow and everything like that. And so we recently had to stay in the Tim Hortons for 24 hours because we weren't gonna. It was like -27.
That's a drag too, because if you nod off, then they want to shoo you away. I think.
You have to go back to base.
Pretty much.
Yeah, one lady told us, hey, the manager said he's going to kick you out soon.
Okay, yes, can I have another two coffees, please?